Hey, Ayoshi, let's check out some local image generators. Zzz.
Oh, I'm in my 40s and I'm still playing with toys. Sorry, not sorry. Alright, so in the last week or so, I've heard about 3 new local image generators you can download and run yourself. So we have Flux Korea, WAN 2.2, and Qwen Image. WAN 2.2 is meant for video, I think, and it just happens to work for image generation as well. So that one's just kind of a bonus in there, although it does have some really good results when you do certain things with it. Now, for each prompt, I generated 3 images and picked the best one of each model. So you're only going to see the best ones. It would take too long to show 3 of each, and there's 6 different prompts. It would take me a while to get through all this. So we're just looking at the best generations for each. We're going to test its prompting ability or prompt adhering ability. We're going to test how aesthetically pleasing each image is, and we're kind of going to score them along the way. But without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to go through 6 different prompts to test this. All right, so the first prompt is create an image of 3 animals sitting on a wooden floor, arranged in a row from left to right and facing the camera. The first animal is a Komodo dragon. The Komodo dragon has its tongue out and looks happy. The second animal is a pink flamingo. The flamingo is looking at the Komodo dragon and looks worried. The third animal is a panda bear. The panda bear is eating bamboo without a care in the world. In front of the animals is a plate of food on the floor. On the plate of food is a corn on the cob, a burger, and macaroni salad. The background features a large modern window with soft lighting, giving the scene a cheerful and vibrant atmosphere. The overall mood of the image is playful and engaging, highlighting the curiosity and charm of the animals as they look at the camera. The whole image is in a Pixar animation style. So we're going to test how these models adhere to the prompts. Is that the right word? Adhere? How well they listen to the prompts. So in the first one, looking at the Flux Korea, the only thing that I noticed that it didn't do is the flamingo isn't facing the Komodo dragon and looking afraid. That was in the prompt and he wasn't doing that. Aside from that, it did really well. Everything else is exactly as the prompt says. So I'd call that a win. The WAN 2.2 one. So yeah, the only thing WAN 2.2 is missing is the macaroni salad, and I guess the flamingo looking a little worried, because he's not really looking worried, he's kind of just looking at the Komodo dragon. And the panda might be eating corn on the cob instead of bamboo. I think it got 2 things wrong. Otherwise, it's a decent generation. I'm not a huge fan of the style it went with because it doesn't really look as Pixar as I was hoping it would. Flux and Qwen did a better job of that. Now with the Qwen model, the only thing wrong with Qwen Image is that the panda doesn't look carefree. Everything else was right. The tongue is out on the Komodo dragon, the flamingo's looking worried towards him, all the things on the plate. So yeah, the panda just doesn't look carefree like I prompted him to do. All right, the next prompt. A beautiful woman wearing futuristic sunglasses. She's wearing a pink crop top and a blue leather jacket. The woman is walking down a futuristic street with a modern monorail behind and above her. There are many people walking, running, and biking on the street. She's in a futuristic Chinatown area. The whole image is in a realism style. All right, so looking at Flux. Flux nails realism. It's astounding. It's great. Everything about the Flux generation is spot on. WAN 2.2, again, has that, it's kind of like a gritty style. Everything looks pretty sharp. It still looks really good. But the one thing I noticed is that if you zoom in on the faces of the people in the background, it doesn't seem to do small faces very well. You kind of have to have them be a decent size for it to show up. This was the best picture, obviously, but some of the other ones that I generated had weird looking faces in the background. They kind of looked scary. But besides that, it's done everything else I asked it to. A little sharp for me, but I like the style. Qwen Image, once again, it looks soft. It turned out beautiful. It followed the prompt perfectly. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. It looks great. It's kind of interesting to see all 3 of these. We have Flux that looks hyper realistic. WAN's got that stylized sharp look, and Qwen has that soft stylized look. But yeah, Qwen Image turned out great. This one was a little more sketchy. So here's the prompt. Goku, Luffy, and Naruto standing in a dark cave. A brave Goku is standing in the middle with a lit torch trying to lead the way in the dark. Luffy and Naruto are on either side of Goku and look scared. There are bright eyes in the darkness everywhere. Dramatic lighting, dark wet cave, the whole image is in an anime style. Yeah, so this is interesting. Like, none of them really gave me a style that I was super thrilled with. I would say Flux did the best. It looks nice and stylized and actually in a drawn anime style the way you would see it on TV. And it got all 3 characters in there pretty well and followed the prompt well. Yeah, so the only thing Flux Korea didn't do is have a whole bunch of eyes everywhere. Otherwise, it's pretty good. The X that's across Luffy's chest, I think that's not part of him. I don't know anime that well, but I don't think that's supposed to be there. WAN 2.2, once again, it's got the sharp, gritty style, and it's just very obvious that it's WAN 2.2. They all kind of turn into Dragon Ball characters, and Luffy doesn't really look like Luffy, and Naruto doesn't really look the way he should either. He kind of looks like a copy of Goku. But otherwise, it's kind of got a cool style. So they aren't in a dark cave and there aren't bright eyes everywhere. So it got a bunch of things wrong. So WAN kind of fails at this one. Quen Image got the whole idea right, except again, Luffy doesn't look like Luffy and there are no eyes. It did okay. It's just kind of a basic picture because it didn't follow everything that I mentioned. But it's passable. I'm sure if you prompted a little harder and kind of drilled down, you could get it. I just kept the prompt the exact same for every one because I wanted to show you how each one interprets the prompts. All right, next prompt. A red Dodge Viper driving at breakneck speed on a long highway. The car is in pristine condition, but the left headlight is smashed. It's a sunny day with no clouds. The view is from the front and side of the car. Camera slightly above. The whole image is in a hyper-realistic style, indistinguishable from a real photo. So I changed up my style in each prompt. I tried to go from hyper-specific at the beginning, and some of these are kind of vague, and I did that on purpose just because I wanted to see how these models handle it, just to see like a real-world scenario, to see what somebody would put in the first time and what they could get. So Flux Korea, the only thing it failed on is the broken left headlight. Now that prompt is tricky because it can be taken 2 ways. It could assume left side for the viewer, or it could think left side of the car. So because of that, I can't really fault it for which headlight was broken. As long as it broke one of the headlights, I was happy. But yeah, Flux failed to have a broken headlight. It looks like a Dodge Viper to me. Everything else is good and it's hyper realistic. So pretty much a pass. WAN 2.2 tends to be oversaturated in most of the photos it generates, which can look really good depending on what you're doing. In this case, I was hoping for realistic muted colors like real life. But either way, it looks pretty good, nice reflections. They actually put a person in the car, whereas Flux didn't. I didn't ask for a person, so that not putting a person isn't really a fail. It did not have the broken headlight. Everything else is pretty good, but there is no broken headlight, so it failed in that front. Quen Image was the only one that had the broken headlight. The only thing about it is all 3 images I generated with Quen Image had the broken headlight kind of breaking glass onto the car. That same effect you see here was on all 3. So it has a weird way of interpreting that, like it's smashing the glass, but also smashing the car just like glass. But it succeeded, it did what I wanted. The only fault I can give it is that it smashed the car as well, and not just the headlight. I think it's pretty obvious Quen Image wins this one. A surreal image of a waterfall pouring from a bottle of Gatorade. The Gatorade turns into painted brushstrokes. The Gatorade lake has 3 dead things floating in it, a dead fish, a dead pelican, and a dead alligator. The whole image is in a surreal, painted, abstract style, stylized and creative. So here's an example of me prompting it differently on purpose. I just wanted to say things and see how it handled it. And I would say that all 3 of these didn't do a great job. I think it's the style, the surrealism is just hard to do. Anyway, Flux got the Gatorade bottle pretty good, and it's pouring out beside a waterfall, like a waterfall, so I guess that's kind of a win. And it has the pelican, the alligator, and the fish, and I guess they're all dead? They don't look dead to me. They all have their eyes open and they're all floating on top of the water, but none of them look dead. But I do like that it had a painterly look to it. Again, these generations could be a whole lot better if you took time and prompted well. Flux did a pretty decent job. I'd say that's the best of the 3. WAN 2.2 does not have a Gatorade bottle. I don't know what kind of bottle it was going for there. It has 2 pelicans, one with like a weird ass broken mouth. It's got an alligator with fur on the back of it. And then it's got a fish with a wing. It looks like it has a wing floating on the surface. It's like all these models figured if you wanted to make something dead, you just float it on the top. It doesn't matter if their eyes are open. Doesn't matter if they look happy. As long as they're floating on top of the water, it's dead. But yeah, WAN is a bit oversaturated. It's got the waterfall. It listened for the most part. It added some weird things in there, but it's all right. It's decent. Quen that looks like a dead fish. I will say that. The fish looks dead. The alligator and the pelican, not so much. Maybe the pelican looks a little sickly, but the alligator looks fine. Quen was the only one that actually tried to have paint within the picture. It didn't really include the paint strokes like I was hoping it would, but it did generate paint strokes within the image. So that's the only one out of the three that did that. This one you might be able to chalk up to a prompting issue. Like Flux and Quen did pretty well considering, right? They both got some things wrong, but they both got some things right. So, all right. And the last one, this one's my favorite. This one, they all killed it on this one. It's insane. A movie poster for an action film called Destruction Dude, starring Dude Dodgers as Dude. The poster has a muscular man with a big curly mustache and huge muscles. He's wearing a muscle shirt and has a cut above his eye with a band-aid on the cut. He is winking and holding a big machine gun. The movie poster style is epic, impressive, and appealing. Look at this. This makes me want to play with more poster ideas, really, for movies, for anything, for bands. You could make some really cool posters and flyers with this. Okay, so looking at Flux Korea first, all three generations that I did had the band-aid over his eyeball. So I don't know what was up with that. It didn't really listen to the band-aid on the cut prompt, but everything else is pretty awesome. I'm not really going to fault any of these models for getting the text wrong. All of them messed up with the text. So aside from the band-aid on the eye and the broken text, Flux Korea did everything else I asked, except the wink. But you could kind of say he's winking because of the band-aid. Like, I think that's what happened. Like, they screwed up. Like, it interpreted the wink as the band-aid. I don't know. It's like he's almost winking, but not quite. I guess that's kind of a fail. He's not really winking. So WAN 2.2 screwed up the text big time and didn't put a muscle shirt on him. But aside from that, this might be my favorite one. I really like the colors. I really like the guy, the huge muscles. He's happy as shit holding a machine gun. It's great. He's not winking either, but look at this. It's so good. Maybe I should start putting impressive and appealing in all my prompts because this is very impressive and very appealing. It just works. Quen Image did the best of the three. The only thing it didn't have, which it did have on some other generations I made, was saying starring Dude Dodgers as Dude. It does say Destruction Dude as Dude, so it's close, but it didn't quite get it. Aside from that, perfect. All right, final thoughts on the models. So WAN 2.2 has a very distinct style that works awesome for some things, but others not quite. Like if you're going for a Pixar approach or anime, I wouldn't really use WAN. It just doesn't do the cartoony stuff as well, but it does have uses. Like look at that movie poster. Look how good that was. Flux Korea and Quen Image are both like neck and neck. I wouldn't even call a winner here. They're both great. They both are very versatile. And it's impressive to me how far image generation has come. Video is taking the world by storm, rightfully so. It's really cool. But it's like image generation kind of got left behind. People stopped talking about it as much because the video thing was taking off. And I just wanted to see how good the image generation has gotten. So anyway, I'll test more models in the future. This is just the three that I've been hearing about recently. And I'm a big fan of local models because I don't want to pay for everything. It seems like there's a new AI out there every hour. There's a new one. And it all costs money. You have to do a monthly plan. Who has all that money? Nobody. So I like focusing on local models. Not to say that's all I'm going to do on this channel. I'm going to look into a lot of stuff. But when possible, if you have the hardware, local models is where it's at, man. It's pretty much neck and neck with some of the paid stuff. And I would even go as far to say some of it's better than the paid stuff. So if you're looking to save some money, any of these three would be great and you'd get some awesome images out of it. Flux Korea, Quen Image, very versatile. I would go with either one of those. And if you have the right hardware and you know what you're doing, just get all three. I used ComfyUI for all of these. It was kind of a headache setting some of them up because I ran into some issues, but you know, that's how it is with the local installs. So let me know what you want me to test. I'm going down the AI rabbit hole. If you liked what I've done here today, subscribe, like, dislike if you hated it, whatever. Come along for the ride with me or see you never.